Hey, hello and welcome. I'll switch over immediately because me and Willow was kind of playing a little bit. As you can clearly see. Wow. He's a fighter. Someone has energy this morning. Damn. Killer squirrel. Get him. Get him, Winnie, get him. Get him. Damn, get him. Get him. Let's go. And she knows. Maybe. Okay. Get it. Get it. Get it. Yeah, good girl. I'm actually amazed how little the squeaky toys have been heard during the streams, during the readings so far. I'm very impressed. Maybe now I triggered it though. Maybe this time we'll hear some squeaking. Oh well. For some reason, the YouTube chat window does not want to work with me. So if you're seeing this, Vaughn, you were in the YouTube chat and you were like, you never responded to anything I said. I'm sorry. I couldn't see it. Så det jag sa. But today we have more chapters. 2 more chapters that we're gonna go through. So we will just fucking go there. Last time on A Soldier's Life, nothing matters except that I find my new favorite character. Whatever his name was. Was it Cassian? Cassian? I know he was named The Red, and it was like CAS at least. But I was like, or maybe I'm thinking of Cassius. I think it was Cassian the Red, though. Golded man. Eric did some sparring with him. I literally don't remember what happened before that. I mean, it's like, that was one chapter. What was the previous chapter? I don't remember. Oh, well, he got his fucking beads, his essences from Cinna, right? Consumed some of those. Hella nice. Had some weird session with Cinna there. Then he went off with Cassian. Or the Red Man, anyway. Peak character. And now he ate some more essences, I think. Or if that was after. Fuck it. And now he's gonna check. Oh, hello, Willie. Now he's gonna check his table to see how much he has improved. So let's do that in chapter 211. Pup. Oh, is Cornelius gonna come and take him to the hounds and he's gonna become a pup? Because he's gonna be the new guy? Oh. Damn, are we already there? Holy shit. Okay, prediction. That's my prediction. Because it's just pup. It's the hounds. Okay. I had seen Maviad's reading, so I knew there could be potential over 100. I just never thought that I would see my attributes that high. Elven artificers crafted the tablet table, but it copied the design for human physiology. It was my understanding that 100 was the highest possible score. Yet there was a 101 after my space affinity. Here we go. Elemental magics. Fire, air, water, nothing. Earth, 32, which is high. We already know that. Lightning, I had forgot that he had anything in that shit. 8, though. Spirit, healing, 23. Nature, nothing. Okay, then we have the unaffiliated magics. Charm 5, Illusion 13, Clairvoyance 0, Protection 30, which is this little air shields, I guess, right? Necromancy, Celestial, Abyssal, nothing. Rare Magic, Space 101. Time 90. Was it always that high? I guess because he hasn't taken any time essences. From what I know. Displacement 61, Materialism 9, Worlds 88, also hella high, Void 22, Convergence 74. Maybe magic affinities didn't follow the same rules. What this meant was my spell form was 3 more points powerful, which accounted for my larger dimensional space. It also meant that people and creatures would have a harder time resisting it. Very good. I reviewed my other attributes before wiping the reader. Alright. Physical strength +2, power +2, quickness +9, and +5 altogether. Dexterity +4, +3, endurance +1, constitution +1, coordination +1, and then +1. Big. The pool. Intellect +1, reasoning +1, perception +1, and +1. Yeah. Resilience +1, empathy stays the same inside as well. Fortitude +3. And the magical ether pool +1, channeling +4, and then +3 max. Ether shaping the same, ether tolerance +2, ether resistance +1, and then space and time, yeah. By far, the most beautiful number was the improvement in my channeling attribute. Looking over my magical stats, ether shaping was still limiting me from casting true spells. Obtaining essences for ether shaping was problematic. I had copied most of the bestiary from the library, and only a few beasts even noted what essences were likely to be formed using a collector on them. Not a single creature so far noted the shaping attribute as a likely essence formed with the collector. Well, that was not true. Dragon eggs yielded the essence about a quarter of the time, but then you would have to deal with an irate mama dragon. This meant using a collector on a mage was the only recourse to get a shaping essence. Still, my review of the bestiary was incomplete, so I would hold out hope to find a reasonable creature that could yield a shaping essence. Maybe not in this library, but perhaps another. Even without being able to cast true spells, I thought I was doing well for myself. You think? Do you know what things you have killed? I think I'm doing pretty okay. Yeah. My other weak attribute was ether resistance. This attribute helped me resist ether magic's influence on me. I have been targeted twice recently, once by Mage Ona and once by Cassian. Oh, so it is Cassian. Okay. I think the only thing that saved me with Ona was the distance we were apart. And if Suna was right, and she was getting the Charm Affinity Amulet, I would have to be careful around her. I sent the tablet reader table to my space. If I were called away to Hound's training, I didn't want to risk leaving it behind. Hello, Legendary Storm. Welcome. We're on the first chapter of the day. You've barely missed anything. I'll take this moment to take a little sippy. Wait. I'm doing good, thank you. Hyped to read today, which is very nice. I hope you're doing well as well. Oh, and congratulations on getting first. Let's go. I was feeling good about my progress, and I took the rest of the night to page through the last of the books from Kaelora. I also realized that Ona also has a name that ends with an A. Cassian doesn't. Cassian doesn't. Since Eric is like, no, I like women only. Fuck. If his name was Cassia, and then he would have been like, okay. Kaelora, around midnight, I deposited these books inside the makeshift wall safe. Even though my dimensional space had increased, I wanted as much space available as possible. You got hurt at bowling? Dude, bowling. When was I bowling last? That shit's funny. I like bowling. I used to bowl a lot when I was a child. Not nice that you have a wrist issue though. But yeah. Don't take too heavy balls. Don't fondle balls you can't handle, dude. That's all I'm saying. Damn. I do League 3 times a week in the occasional tournaments. I assume you mean Bowling League and not League of Legends, because I was like, oh! Crazy. Damn. I knew someone when I was younger that actually did go like to bowling, not professionally since we were young, but like, semi, It's pretty cool. You take 6 balls with you. I don't know, fucking American thing. I know kilograms. But damn, 6 ball? I have 1. When I go bowling, I have 1. Oh, sick. Bowling. I did keep one book. It detailed the construction of fine elven chainmail using flattened diamond-shaped links that fit together seamlessly. The resulting chainmail fit like a heavy shirt, but when impacted, the individual links locked together, dispersing the blow across a wide area. The links were supposed to be made from a metal called mithril, but the only place I knew the metal existed was in the shimmering labyrinth. It was probably a nightmare for a smith to create, but I thought to leave it as a parting gift for Ignis. If I didn't lose my Dreamscape amulet, I would have access to the tome myself, as it was already copied there. They haven't been drilled yet. Oh, the holes. The fuck? I bet bowling balls cost a lot of money. I don't even know what they're made of. Weights. They look cool. Yep, yeah, I figured. Yeah, okay. Polyurethane. And other materials. And what the fuck is that? Let me just do a quick little... It's a plastic material. Oh, okay, plastics. It can be tailored to be either rigid or flexible. It can be used as insulation or of refrigerators and freezers. Okay. And bowling balls. Crazy. Had no idea. Hello, Grimo. Drinky. Cocaine. I cleaned the kitchen and secured my room before entering the dreamscape. I spent some time with Oscar and then studying the void spell form for purity self. Once I joined the hounds, I didn't plan to use the amulet other than to enter for a few minutes to create 10 or so books every night. I walked to the center of the Sandy Scorpion room, and Constantine and Xavier followed, understanding my attentions. Maybe because it's your head. Going to fight the orcs again? How about a white tonight? Constantine asked eagerly, holding his runic weapon. Not tonight. I have a new member to add to our collective. I focused on everything that had happened today with Cassian. All the weapons, all the instructions he gave, and the exchanges we had in training for over 12 hours. The gladiator stood before me, dressed in the combat gear I had first seen him in at the Colosseum. His confident visage studied me as a pressing headache formed behind my eyes. I was glad I had not made any books tonight before adding Cassian. Have you changed your mind then? I love it. He asked suggestively. I hadn't changed the essence of what I knew of him. Now that he was created, I could alter his personality, but it shouldn't be necessary, because Eric likes it. I know he does. No, stick to instructing me, and let's keep our interactions focused on improving my weapon skills. I fought through the migraine to create the same weapons racks available in the gladiator training yard around the circular chamber. I sunk the large scorpion into the sand, out of sight. Constantine immediately started walking the legs on racks. This is more like it. He tested a pylon and threw it into the wall. It pierced the shell of a snail before falling to the sand. The snail dead. Oh, really? Cassian sighed at my rejection and looked around at people. I do perform better in front of larger crowds. Can you add a few more? I interrupted Gladiator. Maybe in time, but for now, this is everyone. Let's start with spear practice. My black-tipped spear manifested in my hand, and I stepped toward Cassian. When I left the dreamscape, it was an hour or so before sunrise. The practice had been intense, and I was surprised by how much my subconscious brain had picked up during the training session, during the day. It was clear the amount of information was what had caused the migraine, which was still lingering even now. My body was sore and achy, and I didn't want to get out of bed this morning. I could have used my etheric healing, but I hesitated. Without my ether channels burning, I felt like I needed some pain in the background to keep my focus. Had I become masochistic? 100%. I went through a mixture of stretches and yoga on the balcony as the city woke below me. I could see why legionnaires would continue serving on after finishing their term to be employed by first citizens. Although, probably, Cinna's treatment of me and her accommodations was more of an exception rather than the rule. 100%. Cinna was already gone and she didn't answer her door when I called breakfast ready. I spent my morning in the kitchen preparing food and drink to store in my space. I added more burritos, meat buns, squeezed a few gallons of blood orange juice, and baked loaves of caramel bread. I had gotten a few crates of blood oranges by mistake, and they were going to go to waste. But I managed to get 5 gallons of juice and chilled it before storing it in my space. When the noon bell resounded, I was expecting Rena, but she didn't show. I descended the tower to find it curiously mostly empty. No one was in the libraries or classrooms. I stopped a passing servant. Everyone is in the banquet hall for the assembly. They will be there through the evening meal. Why? What is happening? It is an early graduation for some, but the Emperor and Chancellors will be speaking. Then they are clearing out the dorms for the next class a little early. Kind of their final meal, he snorted. As he left, I wondered why Cinna had not told me. Was Rena being sent away? Rather than try to find this assembly, I pushed my way into the bestiary library. As expected, the uptight curator was not present. I love that he is like, bestiary, you know? I understand why, like, this is important to him, right? But I also like that he has the thought in his head, is Rena being sent away? I must go to the library and check the bestiary. He's like, that's more important to me than Rena being sent away. Which is like, technically, yes, it is, since this could be for his survival. But you would think that he would be like, I will check on Rena first. And he's like, no. The library should be empty. Hell yes. I mean, he doesn't know if she is, but still. It was always better to ask for forgiveness than permission. I picked up where I had left off and finished the modest library before anyone disturbed me. I was surprised the sun had set when I climbed the winding stairs. I was becoming concerned as it had been almost a day since I had seen Cinna. But then again, also he's not allowed in there probably, so I mean, to be fair. In his defense. Also, the truth was longing to spend some time with Rena. It almost felt like everyone had forgotten about me. There was no point in preparing dinner, so I spent the night in the alchemy lab. I finally heard the door to Cinna's room and went to question her. She was pouring herself a glass of wine and looked tired, her eyes sunken slightly. How was the assembly? I asked, pouring myself a glass. One sip and I put down the acidic wine. A bunch of old wizards pretending they are still important. She waved her hands dismissively. I would have come to get you, but you would have just had to stand in a row with other legionnaires for hours. I heard the Emperor was there, I replied cautiously. She huffed. No, he rarely attends. And it is better as he cannot hold himself together for such a long time. I nodded slowly. I decided to be direct. Will I see Rena again? I can't tell who is more smitten, you or the girl. Cinna cajoled. That is a word I've never heard. I didn't respond to her teasing. Yes, she will be by tomorrow after midday. She sighed and more seriously said, Livia has left the city to go to Gisidmuria with the Antonia's emissaries. Things are moving quickly, was all I could say. Cinna just nodded solemnly. My impression was she thought the expedition would not succeed and may not even arrive. I asked a few questions about the banquet. It was a show for the mages and failed aspirants. It was to show them they were valued in the Empire before being assigned elsewhere. Rena still had too much potential untapped to graduate. I left Cinna in the kitchen, drinking wine. By her mood, that might not be the only bottle tonight. Is it where there's another show or something? Maybe it's an anime? I don't know. When they say like, oh, they graduate and that's like when they die. Isn't that a thing somewhere? I swear to God. Like, that's the only thing I can think of. I don't know if it is that they die, but basically it's that, right? I swear it's the word graduate. I don't remember. But anyway, if anyone knows, let me know. I followed my routine through the morning. When Rena finally arrived after midday, she rushed into me. She was wearing the orc short sword and hadn't belted well among her robes, as it pressed uncomfortably into me. Still, we ignored the discomfort. Rena was directing me toward my room that was off the kitchen, but I stopped her. Later. For now, I need to teach you to use this. You don't even have it looped and strapped in the belt properly. The sword lesson was extremely handsy, but Rana didn't mind, even encouraged it, of course she did. I still felt it was my duty to prepare her as best as possible, so I kept getting her focused on the simple sword forms. She wasn't going to be a swordswoman in an afternoon. I thought if she was assigned to lead a company, she could always have her legionnaires continue her training. If I am a mage commander, why can't I just have you be one of my legionnaires? She complained when I suggested it. We don't always get to make the decisions, Rena. If you never want to be told what to do, become the Empress. I was being snide, but Rena took the words and mentally chewed on them. No, I shook my head and got her focused on footwork again. Even if she never became a great swordswoman, it was good exercise, and she had the perfect sword for her ability level. The sun was fading outside, and Rena dragged me into the baths. Cinna said I have to leave at dark. It is my turn to choose what we do. I didn't resist. The next 3 days were the same. We spent our afternoons training with blades with a rushed session of intimacy in the baths before she left. I had taken a number of essences in the evening, using all my quickness and earth essences and the one remaining channeling essence. I didn't see Cinna much, but I always left her dinner. I knew she was giving Rena and me privacy because her ephemeral affair could end at any moment. I secured my room that evening and settled into the dreamscape. I deflected Constantine's decoy strike with my shield and used my air shield to hamper Cassian on my left. I needed to isolate one of them and get a killing blow. Maviath and Sorana encouraged me on as I was pressing back, leaving air shields in my wake. Cassian wanted a cheering gallery. I complied, but they were cheering for me, not him. Oscar barked encouragement as well. Then Cassian sheathed, using his foot to kick up sand to show the air shields he couldn't see. Even with my improved ether capacity, they were wearing me down. I dropped my shield to use the black-tip spear two-handed. It greatly increased my speed and control. I caught Constantine diagonally across the face. His eye was destroyed and a flap of his cheek hung. Cassian used my focus and caution to move in, but I expected. I was suddenly in my bed. The crude pulley system I worked in the door and window had pulled the amulet out of my hand. Oh. After Cinna had bypassed the locks, I jury-rigged the system. The door thudded into the wedge on the floor, stopping it just a few inches open. I rolled to my feet, sending the amulet to storage and grabbing the unsheathed Orc's Torment leaning nearby. I put on my helm and kneeling. I sent an Earthspeak pulse into the stone floor to see how many enemies I faced. A single man was at the door. Oh, I bet. Hound time! Trying to press it softly forward, but the wedge caught it, and just his fingers were visible. Another man stood relaxed a few paces back. Cornelius's voice broke the tense air. I would have knocked, but I didn't want to disturb your rest. That made no sense. I just wanted to come kidnap you. It is midnight. Can this wait till morning? I asked, sounding annoyed, but I was on edge. Maybe they decided I was not needed for their plans, and this was an assassination. The old hound chuckled. We always take the pups at midnight. I knew it, dude. Usually, I get to surprise and awaken them unpleasantly, but you're spoiling my fun. He let out a long, manufactured sigh of disappointment. I will wait in the common room. Gather your things, leave your armor. You are no longer a legionnaire. You are now a pup. If you grow some fangs, I will name you a hound. 5 minutes and we depart. Damn, just like that. I looked over the small room. I got my boots on and picked up a small pack and 2 letters. Cornelius looked surprised as I exited in less than a minute. I'm ready. I just want to leave these in the kitchen. I put the pack in the cold larder and the 2 letters on the table. One was addressed to Renna and the other to Cinna. Then I descended the tower with Cornelius and the hound accompanying him. Oh, okay. A blank page. Damn. Off we go. Chapter 212. Plans within plans. Cinna POV! Oh, a treat! We've never had a Cinna POV. I think. Cinna retired to her apartments after another meeting for the city's defense. Tella was on a tributary, and its expensive docks on the river and sea made it difficult to defend. The city had long relied on being too large to effectively attack or capture, with nearly 500,000 souls within its walls, twice the population of the next biggest city on the continent. Thousands of retired, pensioned legionnaires and soldiers within would also answer the call to defend the walls. Even now, agents of the empires... For some reason. I've been playing way too much League of Legends. I'm sorry. Well, I can't say even now without hearing Vagar saying, "Your loved ones suffer." Like, I can't. And I'm not even playing League of Legends in English anymore. I'm playing it in German so that I passively learn German. And I know I don't have no idea what he says in German, but I just saw even now, and when I said it, I was like, I can't. Even now, your loved ones suffer. Oh, it threw me off so much for some reason. Okay, my bad. Even now, agents of the Empire were visiting them and making sure their armor and weapons were ready when called upon. They were being told they would not be ordered to march, only to defend the walls of Tella. Cinna knew that was a lie. If things got desperate, the Emperor would break that promise. Cinna appeared in her room, the teleport bracer sending electric shocks through her body. She sat in front of the mirror to get her hair under control. She inhaled deeply, and there was no odor of cooking food in the air. She sighed and walked into the kitchen and paused. All was quiet, and no food was ready for her. Cornelius had finally come for him last night. She had admonished herself for lusting after the young man, but his otherworldly like naivety, like that he's naive. Never seen this word, sorry. Carefree demeanor and amazingly focused work ethic stirred dormant emotions in her. She had acted like a lusty teen after watching a stallion take a mare. Okay. She had never planned to have another child and locked away her desires. Wait, another child? Does she have a child? Does Cinna have a child? Who? Where? No matter how many times the Emperor solicited a potential suitor for her. Eric also reminded her of her lover when she was a mage commander. Taurus. Oh, Taurus. Oh, of course. Of course. Had the same wavy black hair, always had a stupid grin, and never took anything too seriously. Taurus had been her first shield, advisor, and was twice her age when she took over the company. Is this some fucking Daenerys situation? Khal Drogo? He was the only son of a minor baron who was too poor to pay for his son's first citizenship. Taurus volunteered for the Legion, hoping to claim a pension one day and take over his father's small estate on the coast. In their years together, Taurus guided her on leadership and so much more. It was not uncommon for female mage commanders to seek pleasure from their men. Okay. What? Due to Cinna's powerful fire affinity and spell arsenal, she had been given an experienced company of legionnaire volunteers to protect her. Wait, what? What is happening? Wait, what? Wait. I thought she was like, yeah, it's not uncommon for female mage commanders to fucking have sex with her husband. And then she's like, my legionnaires. Like, what? What does she mean from their men, as in like her legionnaires? But then it just says like, oh, they protected her. What? Okay. Cinna ravaged Empire's enemies with her firestorms. As they traveled across the Empire in their duty, Tar's father passed, and his estate was seized by the Duke of the province for taxes owed. Cinna promised him they would regain his father's estate and raise a family after they completed her service. They eventually had a daughter. Here we go. Mila. While Mila was young, Cinna was assigned to the Mage College as an instructor. Wait, she has mentioned this, right? To Renna, when Renna got tutored by Cinna at the coast town thing. I think she said something then. Maybe. I recognize the name. Maybe I'm just making up memories. Her legionnaires were stripped from her and reassigned as she had no need of them at the college. As Mila grew, Taurus and Cinna's plans to marry cemented. Then the Emperor decided it was time to push back the trolls in the Agorian swamp. Taurus's new mage commander perished with all his men in a failed sortie deep into the swamps. When Cinna learned of his death, she went into a rage and portaled to the Agorian swamp and burned everything she could, frequently coming close to burning her other channels, but enjoying the warning pains throughout her body when she got close. Hundreds of trolls died to her rage, and only the connection to Mila kept her from sacrificing herself in her wrath. Her actions earned her many titles in the Empire, such as Fire Witch, Flame Harbinger, and Dragon's Fiery Breath, among others. Crazy bitch. It was not long before the trolls hid in underground burrows and refused to venture forth in fear of the Empire's Fire Witch. The Emperor named her High Mage of Fire, raised her to First Citizen for her service, and gave her Taurus' father's barony. Still, resentment lingered for her. The Empire had ordered her lover to his death. Baroness Cinna moved to the tiny barony on the coast to raise her daughter. She retired from the Mage Academy, and the years were good on the northern coast. Mila was like her father, always grinning and loving life. It saddened her when she took her tablet testing at 16, and she was found powerful in both fire and celestial magic. Mila went excitedly to the mage college, and all too soon she was commanding her own mage company of legionnaires. Mila sought to make her mother and father proud, but instead she was killed 2 years later when the Emperor sent her company to repel the goblin hordes in the south. This seems like a pattern. It was one of the worst surges in a century, and more soldiers, legionnaires, and mages should have been sent to confront it. But the Emperor was far too fearful the Barbarians would take advantage on the eastern border. I understand that Cinna doesn't like the Emperor. The loss of Mila was the end for her. She had lost her love and precious innocent daughter. Antonia found her soon after, and it did not take much time to convince her that the Empire needed change. Cinna reached the kitchen to find 2 letters. One was addressed to her and one to Renna. She opened hers first, as if she will open the Renna letter. The near-perfect penmanship read, Cinna, I truly appreciate everything you've done for me. I can't express how grateful I am. And I really hope we'll always remain friends. Friends! Ah, my heart! I've cooked dinner for you and put it in the larder, and there's a little package waiting there too. I left some essences for Renna and would appreciate if you could pass them along to her. Plus, there's a book for Ignis. Oh, and I stumbled upon some mage robes that I think a certain elven summoner may have left behind. You can consider those a small gift from me, in appreciation for your help. Eric. That little weasel, Cinna smirked. You did have more of Traeliorn's possessions. Other than uncovering the tablet reader, Cinna had respected his space. She had only entered his small room that one time because she was shocked that Eric had chosen one of the smallest rooms in the suite. There were large, opulent guest rooms he could have occupied. She marched into the cold larder, and her jaw dropped. Large jars of labeled appleberry jam were on the shelf. A dozen caramel loaves were frozen and just needed to be heated, and large strips of meat hung. He must have emptied his dimensional space and left her everything he had left from the dungeon. She thinks. It was a pity the etheric bleed would ruin their restorative properties in a week. The bag he mentioned was relatively easy to find. She opened it to find a small bag with an Apex and Minor Air Essence. Did he get these in the dungeon as well? Maybe in a reward chest. Cinna hoped Renna appreciated the magnitude of the gift. Any Apex Affinity Essence carried immense value among the first citizens. A heavy tome was on top, and this must be the book for Ignis. Her Elvish was terrible, and she couldn't grasp the faded title. She paged through the spelling book, not thinking much of it, but paused as the illustrations clarified what this was. It was a step-by-step instruction manual for creating the mythical elven chainmail. She had seen the fantastical chain shirts in person, which were worth a king's ransom. However, working the mythical mithril was incredibly difficult. The fool boy could have sold this book and lived in luxury in any kingdom on Desia. She took her head, closing the book. She shook her head. She would give this to Ignis after the Emperor had been deposed. Otherwise, Ignis might get too distracted with trying to create the chain shirt herself. She pulled the last item in the pack out and unfurled the bundle in the bottom. She tested it with her ether, and the robe shimmered as she held it. These were Traeliorn's robes? Cinna had owned very few artifacts over her decades. This was partly due to her modest funds and lack of interest in such objects. She examined the robes in detail as she searched for damage or blood. Nothing. They were as pristine as if they were new. If Traeliorn owned them, then there should be more to them. He was one of the most powerful mages on the continent. She carefully folded the robes and packed them away. She trusted a few mages who could use a revelation scroll on them. She would have to be patient and wait for the opportunity to broach the subject with Chancellor Evander. Yes, she decided. He would be fascinated by them if they were as powerful as she suspected and keep the secret. The only danger in wearing them was that someone from the Barbarian Kingdom might recognize them as belonging to Traeliorn. Cinna found some frozen meat buns Eric had left for her and took them out to heat. It took some time to figure out the thermal stone in the oven. Even though she had repaired it for Eric, this was the first time she had used it. An hourglass was nearby, and she took it into the common room to read while she waited. She had been reading up on the last war with the orcs of the Bhutan, I think I call it, Caliphate. She wanted to make sure she understood their preferred tactics of the war clerics and warlords if they did try to besiege the capital. Cinna paused and resisted showing surprise as she entered the common room. Antonia was seated on the sofa, sipping some tea. Did he make it to training safely? Cinna asked. A little concerned Antonia's announcement visit meant something happened to Eric. The boy is fine. Did you learn anything about his origins while he was under your roof? Antonia said while studying the fire mage. No, we never talked about it. Cinna moved and sat across from Antonia and crossed her legs to get comfortable. Antonia frowned. The agents I sent to the village where he appeared. The agents I sent to the village where he appeared didn't find any signs of other worlders. Cinna arched her eyebrow. Is that a problem? He could be lying. All the records of other worlders have them arrive in groups, Antonia stated flatly. Cinna shook her head. I am certain he is not from Desia. He's a terrible actor when it comes down to it. He's as readable as this book. Cinna placed the book on the cushion next to her. Antonia studied the book's title with her eyes dancing quickly. The Supreme Cleric will not attack Tella directly. My agents within the Caliphate borders are certain they will attack in the west. Silence hung for a moment before Antonia asked. Were you aware he visited the Adventurers Guild in the lower city? Cinna's mind raced as her face remained impassive. I was aware. He has been experimenting with alchemy and sought some potions there. Cinna cursed Eric for putting her in a position of lying for him. Why didn't he just ask her? Antonia nodded. That follows what I learned. He spent some time in their procurement room. He's either a terrible actor, as you say, or brilliant and has all of us fooled. He isn't hardened like most legionnaires. I would know if he was deceiving us. Cinna defended him, which caused Antonia's brow to rise in surprise. Antonia seemed to be weighing something in her mind. Do you have the blood sample? Cinna pursed her lips, but slowly nodded as she went into her room and retrieved a tunic with dry blood and a hole above her heart. Antonia looked at it and nodded. Good. Was he aware the blood samples from conscripts are never sent to the archive? Antonia proceeded to fold the garment carefully. No, Cinna replied tersely. Only those with a lineage who volunteered for the Legion had their blood archived with the mages. It became convenient for the Empire to let everyone think all legionnaires could be cursed with abyssal magic or tracked with blood samples. That's crazy. Cinna knew Antonia had requested this sample as insurance. She was risking a lot with her faith in Eric and placing him so close to Centurion Sergius. Good. Duke Octavian will supply 14 loyal legionnaires when we move on the Emperor. I have 2 more mages in addition to Castile to support you as well, Antonia stated with finality. Cinna stopped her. I still think it is a mistake placing Octavian on the throne. If Castile learns about it, she will not aid us, and it is her ability that is most needed to succeed. Then she better not find out, Antonia said forcefully. I don't remember what Octavian did. I just know that we hate him. I don't remember what he did. Duke Octavian will not wear the crown long anyway. Focus on what you need to do. When the Emperor leaves the palace, we will gather the collaborators and move. Do you know when that will be yet? Cinna narrowed her eyes. He plans to march to the greatest threat with 1,000 Imperial Legionnaires and 10,000 soldiers supported by more than 24 mage companies. Whether it's the orcs, elves, or barbarians, I do not know. He has built massive defenses around the Titan ruins, but seemed ready to cede the Western Empire to the orcs to keep his hold of the ruins. Wait, okay. Antonia's eyes moved rapidly as she thought. It is too soon. Delay him. Tell him you will march with him, but he must not march until I have everyone in position. If we fail, it will be the end of us and probably the Empire. If he's clear-headed enough to heed my advice, I will do everything in my power, Senna declared with a bitter taste in her mouth. She was too far down this path to change her mind. It was her hope that replacing the Emperor would prevent the Empire from collapsing under its own hubris. Good, Antonia stood. I need 3 mages capable of imprinting the spell form for sending messages. The new class of plebeians should start arriving soon. Here's a list of names Constantine sent me with a high enough affinity in air magic to learn it. Hasten their imprinting process and prepare to send them to me when it is done. Antonia didn't wait for Cinna to respond before heading for the exit, her teacup still steaming. Cinna questioned if she was on the right side of this. The Emperor had ordered her lover and daughter to their deaths, with little purpose. However, her aid to this conspiracy was not about revenge against the Emperor. No, she told herself she was saving others from the same fate. If Emperor Octavian escaped Antonia's plans for a short rule, then the Italian Empire might be worse off. Cinna retrieved the buns from the oven and walked to her bedroom, savoring them for their ether and taste. After eating the scrumptious dinner, she pulled out a bloody undershirt with a hole above the heart. The dry blood cracked as she handled it, and Eric's familiar scent filled her nose. She hadn't decided which shirt to give Antonia, the one with Eric's blood or the one with pig's blood, until she had been asked for it. The shirt with Eric's blood in her hand suddenly combusted into ash, showering to the floor. She hoped she had made the correct decision. Wow, I actually thought she gave Eric's blood. I was like, that's crazy. Pig's blood? Why did she have a shirt with pig's blood? Maybe she'd made it like she... Gasp indeed, dude. Crazy. Wow, dude, go Cinna. I don't understand what the blood was being used for anyway. But still, I'm like, no one will take Eric's blood. Are you crazy? Don't give her... Like, I didn't fully understand. It has something to do with him being an otherworlder and blah 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 blah, and that they didn't keep all their fucking destroy the evidence, right? She did the origins, blah blah blah. Desya, Tella. Good. Was here where the blood samples from conscripts are never sent to the archive. Like, I don't get this. No, only those with the lineage who volunteered for the Legion had their blood archived with mages. Yeah. And so, like, why did... Cinna knew Antonia had requested the sample as insurance. Wait, because then it says, it became convenient for the Empire to let everyone think all legionnaires could be cursed with abyssal magic or tracked with blood samples. Yeah, if they had their blood samples, of course. But they don't have his blood sample, but now they do. So they mean, like, we need Eric. So Antonia wants Eric's blood sample so she can potentially track him or curse him with abyssal magic if shit goes wrong? Is that what she's saying? And the people who volunteered for the Legion already has their blood archived. So they'll track the pig. Some random pig will get abyssal magic. I think that pig is probably already dead though, since there's pig blood. So I would assume she didn't just cut up a pig just because. I think that pig's already dead. I would assume, but it's like that's what I understand at least. Or like, because at first I was like, does she wants to check? Since she was talking about, it's like, oh, maybe Eric is lying to us and he's not an otherworlder. So I want his blood so I can fucking blood test with the other lineages that is archived with the mages and check if he is a fucking betrayer or not. But then I would be like, here, take his blood. Of course he's not. But since Cinna didn't get, so then it has to be something. Or Cinna doesn't 100% know, and she's like, even if he is mean, I don't want him to get hurt. Do you understand what I mean? Like, so I don't fully understand, I don't fully grasp it. Feel free to comment and explain to me why this happened, but those are like the options that I have. It depends on too many things, I guess. Like, you know. But okay, those were the 2 chapters for the day. Now we're going off to the hounds next time. Hell yeah. Good shit right there. Good shit, good shit. Yeah, I don't think so. But who knows? Maybe it was a very nice pig. Okay, but I have some stuff to do this morning, sadly. So I'm gonna have to cut today's stream short as well. Ooh. And then we will be back next time with some more reading, which is hella exciting. I like the story. Like, I didn't know how much I missed A Soldier's Life, you know? But I really enjoy reading it now. I never not enjoyed reading it. I guess I just like it more now when it's just 2 chapters, honestly. Because then it's less. Because 2 chapters is pretty long. Like, it takes 1 hour to read 2 chapters, and I used to read 5. Like, that shit was just too much. But I like this. I hope no one minds too much, because now I'm fucking reading again, so But thank you so much for watching and listening. I hope you enjoyed it as well. Feel free to follow me and Willy on our little socials. Feel free to go and listen to my cover of The Hill that I made on YouTube. I uploaded it. I am very proud of it. Please go listen to it. Thank you so much. And why not look at some other videos while you're there? Okay, now thank you. Have a nice rest of your day, and I will see you next time. Hey, Joel. Bye. Bye.